Welcome back to Channel 626. This is a breakdown of Phineas and Ferb, Jerk de Soleil. This episode gives us the classic Evil Boys song, Phineas and Ferb defying physics in a circus, and Perry, well, you'll just have to see Perry for yourself. So let's get right into it. We start the episode with Baljeet chanting, "We're going to the circus." He says that they're going to see Cirque de Lune, which translate roughly to Circus of the Moon. This is a fun play on the real world Cirque du Soleil, which means Circus of the Sun. But their plans are ruined when they learn the circus is canceled due to the main act having an allergy, which foreshadows the allergy that Candace deals with later in the episode. So the kids decide to put on their own cirque, with each of them participating in their own way. We hear Django speak for the first time, and he ends up getting an entire episode about him later on. It seems like the show creators intended him to be a bigger part of the show as a recurring character at first, but moved on from that idea as the seasons progressed. Buford decides that for his act, he's going to wear a gray sweatsuit, a bag over his head, and fly into mud. This is important later. Baljeet does the classic grandpa trick of removing and reattaching his thumb. He says, "Feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme. Come on, thumb, it's healing time," which is a reference to Cool Runnings.
Feel the rhythm! Feel the rhyme! Get on up! It's bobsled time!
I love Ferb and Perry's act where Ferb basically just throws him on a trampoline and Perry flops into the pool. It's ironic because Perry can do incredible things, but they basically just use him as an inanimate object. Phineas and Ferb offer some notes for Buford's act, but they backfire when Candace ends up on the catapult instead of Buford, sending her flying to who knows where. But the amazing Bago doesn't miss his chance to shine, jumping into the mud on his own. Then during the grand finale, we see all the kids stacked on top of each other. Perhaps the most amazing part of this act is that Phineas and Ferb appear to be in multiple places at once as the camera pans up the human chain. Now let's head to the Candace corner and review what she was up to the whole time. She started the day by fantasizing waking up in bed next to Jeremy. When her daydream is interrupted by the sound of power tools, she goes down to investigate. Much to her surprise, however, Jeremy is there to deliver some parsnips from his mom to hers. He remarks that the boy's creation is more of a cirque than a circus. And this is something I had to look up. Apparently a circus is more of a traditional, loud, colorful event with big tents and often animals, whereas cirque is more artistic and theatrical with human-centered performances and no animals. But while Jeremy invites Candace to sit with him at the cirque, she drifts back into her daydream. She quickly realizes that the plants she's holding are wild parsnips, which she's highly allergic to. Unfortunately, she's out of allergy pills, and Ashley Tisdale begins to sound suspiciously like Dan Povenmire for the rest of the episode.
No!
Outside, she hears a girl named Mindy asks Jeremy to sit next to her at the cirque. Now, Mindy is a fairly minor character, but she does come back up in Hail Doofenshmirtz, always as a foil to Candace. Jeremy, however, is a good boyfriend and rejects her advances. For some reason, there's a gray sweatsuit and brown bag in Candace's room. At first, I thought maybe Buford left his there, but he never mentions losing his costume, so I don't know. Either way, Candace puts it on and runs out of the house, purposefully bumping into Mindy on her way. And this is the first of a couple times where someone refers to Candace as a man while in this outfit, when Jeremy says, "Oh, it's good, bro."
Oh, it's good, bro.
That dude's stealing my act!
Candace then catches up with her mom at the mall where she is playing calm music at the Squat and Stitch. Linda's band also includes Isabella's mom and Jeremy's mom. Then Candace breaks into song to get her message across. We'll break down the song a little later in the video, so stay tuned. But at the end of the song, she asks Linda if she's going to come home and see what the boys are doing. Linda responds, "Are you kidding, hun? Let's do another." This is likely due to Linda's background as a one-hit wonder pop star. I can imagine she enjoyed the upbeat nature of Candace's song compared to the relaxing music they were playing earlier. Also, it's a little strange that Candace tries to get her mom to bust the boys when she simultaneously wants to sit next to Jeremy at the cirque. But I guess that's just Candace for you. When Candace makes it back to the cirque, we see her get confused for Buford and shot off to who knows where on a catapult. The next time we see Candace, her allergic reaction is gone and she crawls into the frame. Jeremy says he heard her song and asks how she got her voice to sound like that, to which Candace replies,
"Oh, same as all the great blues singers. Wild parsnip."
Which is likely a subtle nod to the fact that many of the great blues singers' voices were affected by heavy smoking. Also, part of me wonders if Jeremy is asking because he wants to get his voice like that. Remember, he is in a band too. And of course, by the time Linda gets home, the cirque is already gone. By now, you might be asking yourself, "Hey, where's Perry?" To which I say, let's find out. After the boys dress him up in a costume, he escapes to his lair. At first, Monogram is serious and reading from his notes, but when he gets a glimpse of Perry, he can't make it through the debrief without laughing. When Perry gets up to leave out of embarrassment, Major Monogram snaps snaps a picture of him after getting him to turn around. But if you can get past the laughing, what Monogram actually said was kind of interesting. He says that Doof is buying biomechanical equipment and elocution tapes. Biomechanical equipment makes sense for Doof's scheme to change everyone's voice, and elocution tapes are audio lessons designed to help people improve their speaking skills. This immediately pays off when we hear Doof trying to learn how to sound tough by listening to a tape. He's interrupted, however, by Perry crashing in through his roof. He responds by saying,
"Could you just use the front door from now on? Could you just do that for me?"
This is a hilarious theme that runs for several episodes. Perry is always unnecessarily breaking through Doof's walls, roof, and door. In fact, on the ceiling you can see several places where Doof had to patch the hole presumably left by Perry breaking in. In true Doofenshmirtz fashion, he explains his plot to raise everyone's voice and make his sound lower by comparison, instead of just lowering his own voice. He launches off in his voicinator and bursts a huge new hole in the roof, shouting,
"Oh, come on!"
Perry quickly frees himself from his trap and grabs his hat just like Indiana Jones, which is what his hat was inspired by. And for good measure, he adds one more hole to the roof, because he can't possibly fly out of the same one he made on the way in. As he flies off to get Doof, he hears Phineas announce his role in the circus and unenthusiastically drops in to play his part. After paying his dues as a good pet, he resumes the chase and catches up with Doof nearby the Flynn Fletcher home. And then we get this exchange, which anyone who's ever spent any time with a 2 or 3-year-old can relate to.
Wait! Wait, don't touch that! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it, I told you! Stop it! Stop it! I said keep your hands off of that!
And even though it sounds like the voicinator, which raises people's voices, would be the thing to fix Candace's voice, she's long gone when it malfunctions and fills up the circ tent. It's ironic that her voice has to be raised naturally from the reaction fading when everyone else has their voice raised artificially. Candace always gets the short end of the stick. But anyway, the Doofelium fills up the tent and it blows away, and Doof lets out a Okay, as promised, let's talk about the song in this episode, Evil Boys.
Sing it with me! EVILBOIS!
This is, of course, performed by one of the show's co-creators, Dan Povenmire, instead of Candace's usual voice actor, Ashley Tisdale. During the song, she recounts the events of several previous episodes, singing, "They built a roller coaster and a beach in the backyard, drove cattle through the city and messed up the boulevard, took me back in time when we went to that museum, they built 50-foot treehouse robots, but still you didn't see them." And the good news is, if you want to learn more about any of those adventures, I have breakdowns of each of those episodes on my channel, so make sure to check them out. During the song, Lawrence pitches in with his harmonica, and the participants at the Squat and Stitch spell out Evil Boys. What a classic song. As far as Easter eggs go, this episode is fairly light, but here are the 2 that I found. This mark on Doof's wall looks like a reference to The Legend of Zelda. And the tape Doofenshmirtz is listening to is called Tough Talk, which seems like a common naming convention and reminds me of Tough Shoelaces and Tough Gum, which come up as key plot points in future episodes. I'll also mention here that the episode title is Jerk de Soleil. We mentioned how the de Soleil is a reference to the Cirque du Soleil, but I think the jerk part is alluding to Buford's role in the plot. He's a bully and therefore could be considered a jerk, but that's just my best guess. What do you guys think it means? Alrighty, let's hit on the running gags in this episode.
Hey, have you seen Perry? I put on his costume. Where's Perry? Oh, there you are.
Perhaps Buford truly is amazing.
Okay, that's it for Jerk de Soleil. Thanks for joining me for this breakdown. The best way to support this channel right now is to subscribe and share the video with anyone you think might enjoy it. And please make sure to check out my other videos for more Phineas and Ferb content. Until next time, remember, there's no platypus controlling you.
There's no platypus controlling me.
Well, it counts. It doesn't matter.
Real